Happy March, everybody, to Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Service. Just wanted to reach out to you again just to share a few things. I have Pete here with me in case I missed something that we believe is pertinent. One of the things we want to make sure we're continuously doing is communicating and over-communicating. So we ask if there's some way that we can do that better, more consistently. Please, through various channels, through your unions, through your chain of command, let us know. Talk to Pete. Let us know how we can communicate to you so that you can have the information to do your job. Real quick, I want to start with the budget. We're entering into the fiscal year 26 budget cycle, which will start July 1 effective. There's a lot that has occurred since that time frame. I have to thank Division Chief Del Pozo and his team for all the great work that they've done to get us prepared for the budget. I can tell you the budget is now in review with the Office of the County Executive. The Office of the County Executive will submit his budget to council on March 14th. I am making sure that I make my rounds with all the council members. I have a few more to go to explain to them what's important for the fire service. I also ask them what's important to them so that I can make sure that we align ourselves accordingly to be able to get the resources necessary. All so far have been supportive, and they are really engaging with me and ensuring that we have the resources that we need. I know people want to know what we're going after, what we're doing. I wanted you all to know I just received the email today from the Office of the County Executive. Until March 14th, when he announces in the press conference what that is, it is not my budget to talk about. So I talk about categories of area about the budget, but I can't go into any specifics. You all know we had a charge of a reduction of about $10 million. The good news is they're not taking any of those reductions, and we'll see what enhancement we'll receive. So that's forthcoming. I appreciate all the work that many people have done behind the scenes, and we'll continue to work together. So that you won't have to ask. The primary goal is the improvement and continuous improvement of service delivery to our community and ensuring that we have the best working conditions for our paid and non-paid members of this organization. So I don't want any ambiguity in that space when we're doing things. Those are the two priorities you will always hear from me, and the council member in the county exec's office has heard that as well. Moving to the Office of the Fire Chief, if you do not know at this point, Battalion Chief Robinson has been detailed to the Office of the Fire Chief. She's doing multiple things. She's also spending some of her time in operations and some of her time in the Office of the Fire Chief. Her main three goals are to help us get compliant with the Fire Emergency Services Commission, to help us have a better presence in Annapolis and here locally with our legislation, and also to address some of our antiquated policies. So she's doing a lot of work behind the scenes to get those things in a great place. And if you haven't heard from her yet, you stay tuned. She will reach out to you. We will host a girls' camp this calendar year. And Battalion Chief Robson will help lead that with so many others, to include Chief Burns at the Training Academy. Lieutenant Smith just briefed me yesterday on the concept of a community academy. He's finalizing that plan as we speak. We are going to establish the why behind it. Really is to engage our community, and not just on the emergency scene, but engage them to let them understand what their department has to offer, some of the challenges that we are going through, and how they can advocate with us to get us the resources that we need. So more to come on the Community Academy. Let me go, before I go to the other divisions, is really talk about our three partners. International Association of Firefighters, the Montgomery County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association, and McGeo. I meet with all three on a regular basis. We talk about the difficult things, and we talk about the things that we're working well together. And I've heard both sides of that coin. I can tell you, when I met with some of your IFF board members, they wanted to understand where are we with the training for impaired driving, and I had a conversation with Dr. Lee and the managers meeting about expediting that so we can roll that training out, and that's coming. They also talked about how they were appreciative of the inclusion in different things, whether that's the unfortunate line of duty death of Lieutenant Higgins, or when there are things that's being done in our capital improvement planning for station renovation, et cetera. They mentioned how they've been a part of that and how that has worked so well from a standpoint of understanding what's going on, but more importantly, being articulate to their membership what's happening and why it's happening a certain way. With the MCVFRA, we had a really spicy conversation about some concepts of deployment changes. We come to an understanding of differences. We come to an understanding of what we agree on, and we're finding creative ways to journey together to improve our service delivery and the conditions of our workforce. I also informed them that we're looking at how we address our accidents. And based off those accidents, we understand there's rooms to make it consistent across the board, even though based on the way the policy is written down, there is approached a little differently. But we have one safety officer for the entire shift. And I know that safety officer has a lot to do and is already overwhelmed. And what we're proposing to level consistency across how we are supposed to deal with our safety on incident scenes, injuries and accidents. I've asked Adam Jones, Chief Jones in Wellness and Safety, to create a volunteer safety program. So I haven't met directly with Chief Jones. I had that message carried through to Chief Howard, but stay tuned. We're going to develop a volunteer safety program. When I spoke to Gino with McGeo a few days ago, he asked me about the thought partnership concept and just wanted a little bit clarity because he hadn't responded to my email. So I was able to clear up what the thought partnership goal was. The thought partnership is simply we have something in front of us that's a challenge, and we want to bring a diverse set of minds throughout the organization and sometimes the community to clearly look at a specific thing in a specific set of time with specific parameters around it to bring my office a recommendation on how we can resolve it. In no way is it circumventing committees that we are collectively binding with bargaining agreements. I will not violate a single bargaining agreement, even if we don't like what it is actually doing based on what we intended it to do. We just have to rebargain it or do side letters to get out of that space. But I'm not going to violate a contract. So the thought partnership is simply there to bring people together from diverse aspects, different mindsets to solve a problem. And it helps with professional development as well as succession planning. So I just wanted to bring that to light. Going to human resources, again, you all should know at this point, it's about a month now that Assistant Chief Jones is in position. He would have been here with me today, but he is meeting with Concentra today, their normal meeting. And he wants to make sure that he's going through every aspect of FROMS to see what's working, what other areas that need improvement so that we can continue to improve in that space and protect the wellness of our and safety of our personnel. I was briefed this week by Chief Howard and some of her team, Chief Gibson and others, about an employee recognition program. They brought it to my attention that it's been more than a decade now where we have not shown the appreciation that you deserve from times when people are promoted and or have done great things that you all do every day. So we're going to change that. We're developing and about to implement an employee recognition program, which will be offered twice a year. Once they finish finalizing all the particulars based on our meeting, we will officially roll that out so you'll understand a lot more of what's to come and what we're accomplishing in that. Last thing under human resources is I know that Battalion Chief Gibson is finalizing a recruitment strategy program, strategic plan, so that we can be deliberate about what we're trying to achieve in our recruitment efforts. So once we do that, we will share what we can share in that, and that will spell out what we're trying to achieve in our recruitment efforts. That will evaluate the steps of the recruitment process. That will evaluate the order of the steps in the recruitment process, and then that will track our progress to see if we're meeting our expectations and where we need to adjust accordingly. So more to come on that as well. In operations, I have to give kudos to operations as well as both Burtonsville LFRD and Laytonsville LFRD. Why those two? Well, as you all know, we recently went to another four-person truck at Burtonsville, and that was a lot of collaboration from a lot of people. And I just wanted to give kudos to Chief Ryman and the leadership at Burtonsville for understanding the big picture and ensuring that, again, we're improving the service delivery to the community, and we're thinking about the working conditions of the workforce. We're on the horizon at Laytonsville as we speak with implementing a rescue engine. Similar concept with trying to be more efficient with the resources, and we're working through that with their leadership, Chief Sutton, and the Laytonsville leadership. So more to come on that. So I can tell you I have charged Chief Cooper and his team to look at all things deployment. So today I had an opportunity to go to Station 6, and one of the first things they asked me, what's the rumor? I don't deal with rumor. Matter of fact, rumors are something that I don't like a lot because it causes anxiety and challenges, and it divides. What I want you all to know, to be a responsible leader, which I strive to be every single day I get up, is when I had this great opportunity that was presented to me, it is my responsibility, and I take my responsibility seriously, to come in and evaluate everything. And we will come in and evaluate everything collectively. I'm not going to do it in a vacuum. I am not stuck to one thing except for improvement to the community for our service and the working conditions of our paid and non-paid membership. So more things are to come about deployment, and we're going to be able to tackle that. I know an upcoming volunteer chiefs meeting is upcoming with the ops chief. I will be in attendance in some of that. That's coming in the next couple of weeks, month, and then we're also having an annual conference which will talk about the master plan, and that's coming up I think the end of this month, March 27th. Yeah. That is going to be a diverse group of personnel within the department. That is going to be some regional chiefs. That is going to be community members. There's going to be other departments in the government that will take part of that, so that we can get as much information as we can to look at a holistic approach of what we need to adjust where it's appropriate. So more to come on that. And I can tell you Chief Bailey has done yeoman's work in helping us plan for that, and he's helping lead that effort. Moving on to support services, I can tell you I've asked support services to really look at and work with DGS, Department of General Services, on our capital improvement project. Ladies and gentlemen, to date, as it relates to the budget process, I've had a conversation specifically about Station 23 and the new Station 43. I've had conversations about Rockville and the $500,000 that's a placeholder in the budget for Rockville. Other than that, in the budget process, I really haven't had any specific conversations around that space. I have had conversations with others, Glen Echo, Hillendale, Rockville. I'm sure I'm missing someone about opportunities as it relates to the capital improvement. But from a budget standpoint, going through an official budget process, the new Station 43, trying to ensure we maintain Station 23, and the discussion about the renovations at Rockville has been the main focus that have been discussions in the FY26. I recognize that there are other stations that are in need of repair. I understand that there may be additional stations that we need to build. What I've charged support services to do, once they finalize with Department of General Services the framework and philosophy of how they approach renovation and new builds, that they present to the department what that looks like, so we all have the same information at the same time. So that's on the horizon as well. The other part I'll talk about in support services, they are working with our planning and accreditation division to build tools, more of what we're calling intelligent briefings. So I was just briefed this week with community risk reduction on actually that was last week, community risk reduction on their intelligent briefings specific to where we're seeing strokes in the county, and really looking at where we're spending our time and talent and being deliberate and focused on based on the information that's being provided in that intelligent briefing. So you'll see a shift in how we approach our resources to tackle the challenges that we're seeing, opposed to spreading them too thin across everywhere. We're going to be more deliberate in our approach in that space. Moving on to volunteer services, Chief Kelly has been charged with creating a COLA class for volunteers. We have several things coming into getting trained. We have training for their chief officers. We realize there's a gap from going from being riding in the back or riding aide to riding in the front seat as an officer for a volunteer. So we're gonna remedy that problem and fix it with a similar program that's on the paid side with the COLA program. So you'll see that shortly. Let me go back real quick to rumor control. I don't do rumors. When I can share information, I will share information. I gave an example. I can't share the budget because it's not mine to share. But when I have the green light, I will share it. I don't do rumors again because it damages our ability to come together as one unit for the overall mission to serve our community. What I want you to understand is that I want us to be bold together. We're going to have to be bold. Whether it's at the federal level where we're uncertain to different grants that we were accustomed to being eligible for. I don't know what's going to happen with that. To Medicare, Medicaid, where we're seeing anywhere between 32 to 34 million with EMS transports and what that will look like, to the point that the state has a significant budget deficit. And at the local level, the schools are asking for an additional enhancement of their budget that is equal to our overall budget of about $300 million. So with all three of those challenges that we're up against, we can't be delicate and dance around what we know is ways that we should be efficient because we might be attached to something based on how it's always been. I'm going to be bold in that space, and I want everyone to understand that. But I'm going to be bold for a certain purpose, and you already heard it. It's going to improve the service delivery, and it's going to improve the working conditions of everyone. So I'm not going to be shy about that. I'm going to be upfront about it. I'm going to be collaborative about it. And I ask that we all approach this from an open mindset so that we can work together. I know we have the brain power to do that, and I look forward to working with you. Pete, did I miss anything?
Man, I love work. I can watch it all day, Chief. You just hit it left. And I guess everybody can pick up on the fact the Chief doesn't like rumors, but he's very approachable. There's only 24 hours in a day, but most of you, a lot of us have seen him around stations. He's going to pop in. Typically, we'll ask to see what's going on, that sort of thing. But he doesn't like rumors. He likes to just put it out there. So if you have questions, he's pretty approachable, I've noticed. So just bring it out there. Let's be transparent about it. But I do know, talking about the mission, the vision statement and so forth, where we can notice, can relate, can adapt. We've noticed some things here. There's been some trends since you've been here. We've had some serious fires. We've been busy. We've had many opportunities to do after the fire activities almost every day, it seems, lately, sometimes twice a day. We've been doing after the fire. Our community risk reduction folks have collaborated again with the Red Cross to sound the alarm. What an appropriate weekend this weekend when we're changing our clock to get people into the life-saving habit of checking their smoke alarms. But a number of other layers there too. But your call to action for the firefighters. What are they noticing? What are they seeing? What's going on in their neighborhoods? What are we doing to fix it? Are we adapting as a response agency and also as a community? What people can do to help themselves? Being engaged in the community. I think we've been doing a good job, but again, this weekend coming up, change your clock, get out there and see what's going on in the community, interact, and let's just make the vulnerable community, those that have vulnerabilities. We see smoke alarms, whether they work or don't work. We see different conditions where there's excessive storage in some housing issues. What's going on there? A lot of car wrecks and serious car wrecks lately. We had a lot of fires, food on the stove. We're seeing these things. What are we doing about it? We're getting out after the fires in some cases when it's heightened awareness. So thanks for leading the way on that. But again, this weekend, I think for every shift, every fire station should be out and engaged in that. So that's what we got going on in the short term anyway.
Got it. Thank you for that. So I've been. One of the things I've been explaining when I meet with the council members, and every time I do this, they all have a kind of the shock moment, like they were unaware of this. So I do something very simplistic, and I had to get this information from the people who had it, the planning and accreditation, as well as our EMS division. So last year, our department touched 838 people who unfortunately didn't make it. They died. Out of the 838 people that didn't make it and died, 0.7% were from fire fatalities. I want y'all to let that digest. All fatalities are horrible. All fatalities are horrible. So if out of 838, 0.7% were fire fatalities, and I'm not going to try to say what the math is because you're going to laugh at me and do something else later on, but you get the point. 6 fire fatalities last year, 832 other kind of fatalities last year. So when you have that kind of information, and you realize we're going to ask for everything we need to do our job, and we're going to get some of it. So what is the responsible thing to do with the other resources that we have to meet that demand that we can prove? That's how we're going to approach things. We're going to look at what do we need for all of our emergencies based off what the information is telling us. And we're going to be bold about it. We're not going to dance around it. And things will look different than they do now, just like they look different when I started 30 years ago, and it looks different from whenever you started. And that's okay. So I ask that again, open-mindedness, think about what our mission is, and let's be mission-focused. I want to end with, we've been through a lot in a short period of time together. And during the managers' meeting, our XO, the executive officer of the fire chief, said something that was just so powerful. Forget all the things I just said, because what I'm about to say is most important. Take care of yourself. If you're not taken care of, if your family is not taken care of, then we can't go out there and take care of the community. So whatever it is you need to do to take care of yourself, please make you a priority. And please stay safe and have fun at work.